Welcome to part 2 of creating a coaching or consulting business that aligns with your passions and purpose. In this video, we're going to dive into a process that you can use to get really clear about what your passions and purpose even are. Let's go. The following exercise that I'm going to walk you through is going to help you clarify your desires, clarify the passion and purpose from which you create your entire business. Now, I've taken this process and adapted it from a few different sources, but primarily from a book called The Passion Test by Janet Attwood. So the idea behind this is that the more we focus on that which we love and desire and that brings energy up, the more engaged we're going to be, the more energy we're going to have, the more attractive we're going to be, and the more successful our business will ultimately become. The more we focus on the things that we love and enjoy doing, the more the parts of our brain that get depressed or angry or sad, the more they're turned down. So really what we're doing is self-care. When we do what we love, when we focus on our passions, we're not only taking better care of ourselves, we're also putting out better energy into the world. How? By infusing our business with this positive, uplifting energy. One of my mentors, you may have heard me talk about her, Nani Leah Diamond, she says, the energy from which we create guides and determines the energy of what we create. The energy from which we create guides and determines the energy of what we create. So we're essentially infusing our energy into our creations and most importantly into this creation called our business. So if you're in my retreat, if you're in the Superstar Business Breakthrough, then you've got a worksheet that you can work through with this. And if you're not, just grab a piece of paper and follow along. So here's the question. I'm going to give you one question that you're going to answer many, many times. You're going to basically fill in the blank and come up with as many answers to this question as you possibly can. You ready? The question is, when my life is ideal, I am blank. When my life is ideal, I am blank. Now, before you get started, a little bit of background. Number one, these words are very important. Don't change them. Use the words exactly as I'm giving them to you because they're created this way for a reason. They are meant to put you into a future state, into a present tense in a future state, meaning you're thinking in the future when my life is ideal, but you're saying it, I am in the present. So you're creating a connection between your vision and your present state. So you're basically calling your vision into the present and calling yourself forward into your vision at the same time. It's really genius. And so what you want to think about is how you're being and living in this present tense future state. And we're not talking about goals, right? And really try to focus on how you're being and what experiences you're living in this future state. So I'll give you some examples. When my life is ideal, I am healthy, fit, and strong. That's one of mine. Now, you want to avoid things like, when my life is ideal, I am 115 pounds, because that's more of a goal than a passion. The idea is to make a distinction between goals and passions. And the passions are states, are experiences that pull you forward. Whereas goals, if you miss it, then you don't have that thing, and then you're disappointed and sad. So let's focus on future states. When my life is ideal, I'm healthy, fit, and strong. Here's another one. When my life is ideal, I take a month-long vacation every single year. Or when my life is ideal, I take Fridays and Mondays off. Or when my life is ideal, I pick up my kids from school every day. So those are just some of my personal examples, but you want to obviously come up with your own. And here are a few ideas to see this. So before you start filling in the blanks, number one, we're looking for at least 15 answers. Now, I say at least because if you have more, please, by all means, do use them. But if you can't get to 15, really stick with it, really try, because it's often the very first ones that are obvious, but it's the later ones that get to the deeper layers that sometimes you resist, that in our conscious mind, we're like, oh, I can't have that, that's impossible. Well, those are the kind of desires and passions that I really want to get to. So push yourself to get to 15. And here's some of the things you'll want to think about. Number one, don't resist your desires. Go ahead and write it down. No one else is going to look at this unless you decide to show it. So just Write everything that comes to mind. Think about how you want to feel and what emotions you want to experience. Think about where you want to be. What would be energy rich, maybe geographically, and if you want to move or something. Imagine who you'd be surrounded by when your life is ideal. So for me, for example, that one is when my life is ideal, I'm surrounded by energy rich leaders who are contributing to humanity. Think about the lifestyle you want to lead. Maybe for some of you, it's a first class lifestyle with fancy dinners and fancy parties. And for others of you, it might be rustic and simple life on a farm somewhere. So think about lifestyle. Think about your core values. What values are you living? Think about your health. How do you feel in your body? Consider your hobbies, the things that you love to do and maybe haven't taken time to do. Think back to your childhood, some of the things that used to hold your attention that you haven't thought about or looked at in a long time. Dive down the rabbit holes. Nothing is off the table. Just capture all of these passions and desires in one place. So I'm going to be quiet now because you're going to put me on pause to give you time to either fill in the worksheet or write down, when my life is ideal, I am blank 15 times at least. Let's go. Welcome back. Now, before I move on, I would like to invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even post a comment below. So now that you've come up with at least 15 ways of completing the statement, when my life is ideal, I am. Now, I went ahead and put together an example. I didn't do all my 15 because they wouldn't fit, but here's a bunch of them so that I can illustrate to you what we do next. So here's some of mine. I'm healthy, fit, and strong, having fun every day, leading a stable, sustainable business, supported by an amazing team, yada, yada. So imagine that this had 15 on them. The next step, what we want to do is put them in order of importance. Now, if you have them in a computer, that's easy to copy paste. If you're doing it on the worksheet or if you wrote it down, then you might want to go through and number them 1 through 15 or 1 through however many you have. So if I'm looking at this list right here, I would have to say, oh, and by the way, if you're struggling with that, which can happen, one way to do this is to compare to determine a winner and then compare the next two, determine a winner. So for example, I would say, all right, I can't tell which is my number one. They're all number one. So I'll say, what's more important to me, healthy, fit, and strong, or surrounded by energy-rich leaders? Ooh, gosh, that's a tough one. That is a real tough one, but I'm actually going to go with healthy, fit, and strong, and I'm going to not cross this one out, but basically I'm going to put a star next to this one because I know that when I'm healthy, fit, and strong, I feel better and I have an elevated energy to attract others into my life. So I know that this really comes before this, and I can't have this unless I have that in my belief system. It might be different for you. So I'll take healthy, fit, and strong and put it together. Being of service to leaders, kind of the same thing. So I'm going to stick with this one being number one. And then look at free to follow my curiosity and create. Ooh, that's a big one. Free to follow my curiosity and create. I'm going to have to say maybe I would take this one because I feel like if I'm free to follow, whoops, I didn't mean to cross that out. If I'm free to follow my curiosity and create, I also have the freedom. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I think I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going to stay with healthy, fit, and strong. Having fun every day, I feel like that's primary. Speaking and inspiring others, living a first-class lifestyle, leading a stable, sustainable business, supported by. So I'm going to come back. This is my number one, okay? Now I want you to do that with yours and come up with your top, let's say 5 things. So that's number one, and then I could do the same exact process for number 2, number 3, number 4. So I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to go on pause so that you can do this exercise while I do it, and then we'll meet back here. Welcome back. So I've gone ahead and put mine in order of priority to me. I have healthy, fit, and strong, surrounded by energy-rich leaders, supported by an amazing team, speaking and inspiring others on stage, and being of service to leaders. So these are my top 5. Now these top 5, I want to put them everywhere. And I invite you to do the same with your top 5. Put them everywhere. I even for a long time used to keep my top 5 on my phone when I would, the home screen of my phone, so that every time I opened my phone that I could see it. So I invite you to put it on your refrigerator, on a sticky note on your computer, places where you're going to see it on every single day so that you're reminded and you remember what it is that's moving you, that's driving you. And so the next thing that you'll want to do is take each one of these and come up with 3 to 5 signposts of how you'll know you've achieved it. Now these are goals. So what that might look like is here, healthy, fit, and strong might look like, oh, my labs are optimal, right? So when I go in and do my blood work, that I've shown improvement and that I'm in an optimal range instead of a suboptimal or dangerous range. So you want to come back and look at each of these and come up with 3 to 5 signposts that show, yeah, I did it. I nailed it. So another example might be surrounded by energy-rich leaders. I would look at all the people that I'm working with and the people in my life and ask myself, is this person an energy-rich leader? So I could say one of my signposts is all of my clients are energy-rich leaders. And actually, I can say that I'm there. All of my clients are actually energy-rich leaders, and maybe you're one of them. Now, once you've done this work, you've put them everywhere, you've identified the signposts, then I invite you to check in every so often to see how you're doing. So I'm a big believer in doing KPIs, which means key performance indicators. Now, some of my signposts, like how many clients I have and how much revenue the business is driving, I'm checking in on those things every single week. But definitely every single quarter and every single year, I'm doing a reevaluation of all of my signposts. I hope that you found this valuable and interesting. I'm curious to what your passions are, what your purpose is. And if you want to go ahead and post below what you came up with this exercise, I'd love to see it. And if you're not enrolled in one of my retreats, my Superstar Business Breakthrough Retreat, you can find out more at superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com.